Oh dear. Oh dear.
Am I right?
Well, oh God, I've not only been around fumes all day. I got a bad eye, so you can see I'm a little swollen around the eyes.
You always look swollen around the eyes. So, welcome back. We almost missed this week. I had a thing that got canceled, and and you had a thing, and
that's not the first time, and it won't be the last.
No.
You'll be canceled out continuously from now
cancel
on.
culture.
Your career's at an ebb and flow, buddy.
Indeed. True.
No,
that.
we don't want him. Cancel it. Not him again. Cancel it.
I want to. So I've been advertised on the social medias of a belt that's not a belt, where it, rather than going all the way around your belt, it connects on the sides.
Hooks onto
two loops and pulls those loops together, and therefore holds your pants tight.
Yeah.
Which is like, boy, that's kind of genius if belts were so evil that we needed to get rid of them. Right? It's like,
I had the same thought. I thought, is it so bad to have a belt that you're going to replace one thing with two things?
Right.
So I've got twice as many things I might lose in my suitcase, packing and unpacking.
And have to attach every morning.
And this is somehow easier than just putting on a pair of pants that has a belt already on it, or
it's like
what's broken?
Is the buckle the offensive part? Like, I don't understand.
The cool part. My favorite belts have got silver buckles.
Right.
And the leather is all engraved and shit. I mean, they're works of art. And you want to replace them with two fucking bungee cords?
Don't fuckle the buckle.
It's like, wait a minute. I got to hook up the right side, and then I got to hook up the left side, and then I got to take them off when I'm done, and then or leave them in the pants, and then what? And then what? I wear another pair of pants. I got to buy another pair. What? I've got 5 belts. What do you want me to do with them? You want me to not to use them anymore? My belt collection? Is that what you're advertising? You stupid fucks.
And it's like, meanwhile, I'm entirely on the team of let's have shoes that I no longer need to tie. Like the shoes that can just have some elastic.
Slip in, slip on. Yes, I have.
Yeah. Like not Velcro. Boy, that was a fantastic thing when I was a kid in the 80s and the 90s. But also for children. I don't know if if you have to tie your grandkids' shoes, but a lot of children's shoes are Velcro because boy, it just speeds things up so much.
It's done. And
I'm a huge fan of those.
Yeah.
But
tool of the day.
But I'm moving towards the tool of the day, which is a thing that you were wearing before, which was a mechanism which it had never occurred to me in the same way that it would have never occurred to me to have 2 side belts. But really, to hold your pants up, you really, I mean,
this is a problem with most suspenders. They have
you
a
really
hook
only
in the
need
back. They have a hook in the back, and that has to be snapped onto your belt or onto your pants. Every time you get into a car and you sit in the seat, that buckle can come undone, and you've got to redo it. It's in a bad spot.
I've never.
So they had the brainiac to create instead a vest that's actually 2 egg-shaped pieces of elastic sewn together, almost like angel's wings, that actually, when you put them on, they're like a vest. And the 2 sides have a dangly hook that hooks onto the right side and the left side. Everything in the back is just stretchy fabric, and it holds your pants up without any of this. These fucking suspenders with the snap in the back. They've never worked well enough, and the snaps therefore become stretched out over time, and then they don't hold. They won't even snap on a belt because they're cheap. End of.
Okay, your description is terrible. From what I saw, I just witnessed you disrobe one of these things. And it's a hook. There's a thing that goes around your shoulders, and it hooks to the front of your pants.
The side of your pants, actually.
Side, okay.
Not the front. That's the other improvement. In the front, when you've got a tool and you lift a hammer or a big drill off the floor, and you lift it close to yourself, you're likely to hit that snap and unsnap it. Then you got a heavy drill, and you got to put the drill down. You got to re-snap. They're in the wrong spot. Not anymore. They're on the sides.
And honestly, to me, suspenders always made more sense for holding pants up than belts.
All depends how you're shaped. If you're shaped like me, I have no hips. I have no ass.
Right.
I'm a slender man. And from my chest to my thighs is kind of pretty much a straight line. So if I want to keep a belt on to keep my pants actually up, I got to cinch them.
Really tight, and it gets uncomfortable. And then when you sit down...
And that becomes hard when I'm bending over working and doing construction work. So thus, belt on loose, but hook these new suspenders. They're made by...
Makes so much sense.
What's the company? They have great ads. Duluth, Duluth. They have great funny ads too.
Like Minnesota. Okay.
Yeah.
I will.
Duluth Trading Company to give you the full.
Yes. Sponsor of today's episode.
Well, little do they know.
Should they wish to?
Listen.
Yes.
Wait till you check out their underwear. Wait till you check out Duluth underwear.
But how can I if their pants are held up so well?
You got to go under the covers, boy. You've done that before.
Got to unclip the suspenders. Suspend disbelief. They're disbelief suspenders. That's a show title. So I got a couple things I thought to talk about.
I got a thing or two. We've had an event.
Let's let you go first.
So,
well, hold on. I'm going to preempt you.
You're going to what?
That was super mean of me. Yes, because I have some follow up on the Eclipse.
Oh, okay. It's like old business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
old business part one, number one.
Yes. In podcasting terms, we call that follow-up sometimes. So I saw this amazing YouTube video where one of my favorite science channels, Veritasium, traveled to Spain to watch the eclipse. But not only watch the eclipse, but they sent up a weather balloon up like outside of the atmosphere to get a shot of the moon, the moon shadow going over the Earth, which was fucking amazing. I will include a link to that. But also in that particular video I learned that most of the lunar eclipses, most of the solar eclipses happen in the Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah. Which I kind of alluded to because I've had at least a couple in my life. But
it's not obvious why, and the reason is that the way that the Earth is tilted when we are closest to the sun, we're closest to the sun in our winter, which seems weird because it's colder, but and we're further in our summer. And it happens more because in order for the eclipse to be total, you have to have the Earth and the Moon further from the Sun so that it blocks more of it. That's a really bad description. The video does it way better.
That's the second one of the day, apparently.
The other is the interesting fact that so my son for the eclipse built a little pinhole camera box thing. I don't know if I mentioned that, where I sent him a video of this 9-year-old girl that like NASA made this video of like take a shoebox or a
we made them. We made them back in grade school.
Right, and he made it at first, and the hole he had punched in the tinfoil was not like a perfect circle, and I was like, oh gosh, I wonder if you should probably redo that so it's a perfect circle, so that it makes a perfect circle that you can see inside the box. As it turned out, it was too cloudy for us to actually use his box. But what I learned from this video is it doesn't matter the shape of the hole, because when you get far enough away, the shadow far enough away, all of the holes between things, like between the leaves and the tree, turn into little circles. And during an eclipse, you will see little crescents on the ground that are coming through the leaves of the trees. Like they're not perfect. They don't need to be perfect holes, but just the way that physics works, you end up with those shadows, which I thought was super fascinating.
That's crazy.
The other crazy thing, two other crazy facts is that it is possible to have up to 5 solar eclipses per year, and also
in the world,
on Earth, yes, and also that every solar eclipse, and if you think about it, this is like duh. Every solar eclipse comes also with a lunar eclipse, because you've got the Earth and the Moon, and the Moon's going around, right? And so if the Moon is going to block the Sun from the Earth, 2 weeks later or 2 weeks before, the Earth is going to cast a shadow on the Moon, which is cool and true. And next week we have a lunar eclipse to observe here. So
no kidding.
That's exciting. Okay, back over to you.
I'm in outer space, man. That's what you're saying. I mean, it just reminds me so much of that book that I just finished by Powers.
Yes, you mentioned that last week.
It was so powerful. Oh, so powerful. You will love it. Yeah, way cool. Way cool. Well, it reminds me, we had a Sunday fun day. In fact, last weekend, I had 2 tickets at a bar in the middle of nowhere called Hilliard's Bar and Grill, and lo and behold, they had nothing short of Greg Allman's son, Michael Allman.
You mentioned that last week, yes.
And the Michael Allman Band. And as it turns out, so we went, my daughter's, has a place out there, so we went there, went swimming, hung with the kids, and then Nikki said, if Dan wants to go, my son-in-law, then, you go, because my back and blah, 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 and Dan's like, yeah, I'm in.
Sure.
Show up, this huge, wide open restaurant, seats 220, one room, with a bar in the back. It's a big structure and a full wall stage with a mini stage set on the side to accommodate the full drum set. Because on the main stage was the other drum set, which was all bongos and banging shit. And this band with 2
bongos
lead
and
guitar
banging
players,
shit.
including one of the best I've seen, a piano man who had an electronic piano over his neck, kind of shaped like a guitar, and strutted about off and on the stage. And they played Allman Brothers instrumentals, which they're just famous for, with dual guitars, sometimes dueling guitars, perfectly. And not bad, the kid said, who I talked to him afterwards, playing in 1970s tunes when I wasn't born until 1982. He was one of the best guitar players I've seen in many years. So that was fun. Then we went down the coast and ended up, made our stops, a brewery for the beer we like and the sun. And I had a place rented in LaPorte, Indiana, which is just over the line of Michigan, Indiana, near Michigan City.
Okay.
Which is right when you're in Michigan City or in Indiana. And then inland a little bit is LaPorte, which is interesting because it's just lakes. 4 or 5 lakes and all these meandering residential ins and outs and lots of green space that the state owns. And then right off the top of the hill, right outside of LaPorte, there's farms, hundreds of acres of farms overlooking the river. How often do you see that? A farm overlooking a river, with a big barn and all that. It's just stupendous.
Is this the Mississippi River? No.
No.
Indiana is
Lake Michigan, and these are lakes. LaPorte, Indiana.
Yeah. I'm looking at LaPorte.
Pine Lake. I think
but you were saying river. Okay.
Did I say river?
You said river.
What was I thinking?
Yeah. There's Pine Lake and Stone Lake and Lily Lake and Fish Lake.
There's a 3-story bar and grill that we
Clear
had
Lake.
breakfast at.
They're not very creative in their.
And so that was kind of cool.
Nice.
And we stayed at this hotel. It was a little spooky, I mean, I will start the story a little into the story by saying that the room was immaculate. The bed was great. Everything was clean. However, the structure itself, the building itself, is poured concrete. And instead of the smooth pillar-like concrete that we're used to seeing in modern use of concrete, these are, with a trowel, they are patched in with an overlay of cement over the concrete. And that overlay patch is then painted, which you never do to concrete because it has to breathe. And when it does breathe the moisture through, it peels the paint, corrodes the concrete. And that's what's happening throughout the place.
I wonder if that's a thing that I would notice. Because
yes.
Yes, but I wouldn't know why. I would just be like, the paint is peeling everywhere.
So, you might not know why. So here's the fascinating thing. There's this atrium. Now, I don't have to go through the atrium to get to my elevator. So at one point, I didn't go right to the elevator. I went to the atrium, and there enough was a pool that I wanted to see with a hot tub. But I was barefoot, and as I stepped off the rug in the hallway where I was to go into the atrium, it turned into like bricks, laid bricks, like cobblestone, but they were covered with grit and small stones, and they hurt my feet.
Oh.
So I went a little way, and I went back, and I thought, well, I'll look at this later. But I looked to my right where the height of the atrium was, 3 stories high, all the way to the 4th floor. And the poured concrete with the concrete overlay had been built into 3-foot deep gardening beds that you could plant flowers in, but instead they were full of dirt and sand. And in the back of it, a staircase encased in walls that made it look, I swear to God, it was the fucking Alamo. It was the front of the Alamo. And I should have taken a picture of it to tell you about it. But it was like, why would you celebrate the massacre of Mexicans and Americans in your atrium? Wow, what fun!
Right.
But stark. And then here and there the crumbling, and obviously somebody bought the hotel and improved it from the rooms out, which makes great sense. In the elevator on the way out, and it was only $109, 10 miles from where I was looking at hotels that were $250.
Right. Okay.
If I could get one.
Sure.
So I went across the border, and sure enough. And so, as it turns out, with a great bed and a clean room, we were fine. We didn't go in and out much. And I said to a man on the way out, wife and he getting in the elevator, leaving as I was getting ready to, and I said, his elevator went down. I said, this place probably could use a little facelift. And he said, yeah, it could. He said, but the rooms are good and they're clean. And she said, that's all I care about. And he said, and you can't find a better price point around here than this.
Yeah. Because that's...
Yeah, I don't know. But I told Nikki I want to go back. It was too spooky for me. It was too weird. It was too spooky.
But it goes back to...
I felt like there would be a spook underneath my bed. I don't want to get spooky.
All right, Christopher. Yeah, it reminds me of the weird place I went to in Portugal where it was just like, bro, these are boxes, and we're going to make you comfortable in your box, and the rest is... There's nothing else. Like, we're gonna give you a place to sleep in a nice
box,
air conditioned box with no windows or anything, but you got your Wi-Fi and you're in the middle of the city.
Yeah,
take it or leave it. And ultimately, like, there's... Imagine how terrible it would be to have like a super luxurious marble lobby, and then you get to your room and like there's like mold and ants and shit. It's like no. Like, prioritize the rooms.
Yeah.
And then if you want to get fancy, spend your money out there. But
yeah. Well, this place is more than a facelift. But and so interestingly enough, I googled places near there, and the place came up, and it was a hidden gem in the woods, a 10-room lodge known for its restaurant cuisine, including steaks, and hiking paths. And if on the weekend the rooms were $260, $280, but a Sunday to Monday was $110.
Interesting.
And neither one of us are working on Sunday or Monday beginning sometime this fall. So we have long weekends. We have a weekend from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We're both... She's off. No childcare. And so I can be off. But, hey, here's some news. Oh, I got to tell the story first.
All right.
So we played a street party last night. And it's downtown Kalamazoo. You find some pictures and post them. There was a guy there named Skyler who was doing the photography. It's got to be posted somewhere. But at the height of the evening, there were over 300 people there in this street that is permanently closed off, where the buildings that back up to this alley all have built decks. So they each have their decks, their chairs, whatever, and then there's a space where there aren't any, and there's tables and chairs. But there's 5 or 6 businesses with decks, and then facing away from those buildings across the alley is a stage. And the street is a dance floor.
Are the buildings
joined?
bars or are they
Yes.
businesses or
Bars,
are they
restaurants, yes. All of them serve drinks.
hospitality? Okay.
All of them serve food. One's a pizza joint, doesn't serve beer. They
So
serve
great-
28-inch pizzas. You
Fuck.
can't fit it in your truck. You got to put it in the back of your truck. It's so big.
That's
Anyway.
almost a yard, son.
Pizza by the slice that are this big. I mean, they're enough for one person to eat. And say,
That's a
"Oh my
big old
God, I'm
radius."
done." You know, for $6 for a slice or something like that.
That's a
But
foot.
anyway-
Hold on. 28. That's a foot fucking radius. Jesus. Okay.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Jesus
Criminy.
melting on the cross.
Yeah, that's pi
big
r
one,
squared. Yes. That's funny.
And there was interesting layup because we got this DJ Mel V, who I've heard and listened to before because when we played down at Thunderbird here, that closed down here in Kalamazoo on the river, beautiful property. Mel Z would follow us after we did our 7 to 10 set, and then the DJ picked right up at 10 o'clock and played
Right.
till 1 o'clock in the morning.
That's what DJs do. Yep.
And in the back, a dance room that would hold 100 people dancing, all lighted up and just out of your mind, loud and just chaos.
Yep.
So I would go back there, after I played and said, well, I'll get a dose of this, Just the energy was astounding.
But just a small dose.
Just small.
Like you
And
can't
then,
take much of that.
So anyway, Mel V was there. He was the DJ, but we get all set up in the stage, there's parking lots behind us. And one of the parking lots becomes a party lot,
Sure.
in fact, behind the stage. Set up, and then the DJ started playing at 20 after 5. And he played for 45 minutes, 50 minutes, until it was, no. He 20 after to quarter to. So he played 30 minutes, 25 minutes. Just the DJ playing tunes.
Right.
Very good vibe, setting it up. And then we played for 45 minutes, did a set, and then he did a set for 45 minutes. So the band had a 45-minute break, which we didn't know what to do with ourselves. Odd, and everybody was dancing to the DJ, and our goal was to keep them dancing or get them back up. And as soon as the DJ ends and we started, it should be a better transition. We should work some shit out with the DJ. So we're saying, like, we're gonna do Marvin Gaye, Heard It on the Grapevine as our opening tune. So why don't you get something going that will allow us to pick up on it? And so we're in the same space. We're in the same musical space. And the dude's like, I got you covered, man.
Yeah.
Of course he would, but you got to do it ahead of time. You don't yell it out. I should have done it. I don't know why. I had forgotten my motherfucking tablet, so I had to drive through terrible construction traffic and then drive all the way back. It was only 20 minutes, but it felt like a fucking hour while the band's setting up, getting ready for sound check, and I don't have my cables hooked up. I get there, it's time for sound check. My cables aren't hooked up.
Man.
I thought my iPad, I said, well, at least
What a
it's
mess.
charged. It hadn't been charged, and it had been drawn power. It's at 30%. And I'm going to be playing it nonstop for 2 hours, so it doesn't need much. But luckily, I had one of those batteries that you charge, so it can charge two phones.
Yep.
Just took that with me, hooked up a long cord. It was charging all night.
Those save lives, yes.
Yeah, and anyway, because our rhythm guitar player, you heard me talk about Jason, he had strep throat. So the fivesome ended up to be a foursome. We were a quartet, which is how we started, but we never played a gig as a quartet until one time after we were a quintet, Jason couldn't play, so we had to play as a quartet up in Otsego and Liquid Note. And we had fun. It gives me the opportunity to play more harp when we do more blues, because we can extend the blues in ways that are very, very natural.
Sure.
Whereas some pop tunes don't. You can do solos in any song for as long as you want, obviously. But the blues is an easy way for everybody to do it, and particularly since I'm blowing the harp. And so it was a very bluesy night, and Justin wasn't feeling all that hot, and he said, "Listen, man, you got to be the Mojo Man tonight, and you got to talk to these people, because any 30 seconds you can buy us is 30 seconds that I don't have to be singing." He does backup vocals and some leads, and the other two boys don't do any leads. The drummer, Jimmy, and bass player, Blake. I'm not sure, dude. And so before I got there, I printed out all the dates and the artists and the chart listing of every song that we played. I asked AI to do it for me. It was harder to print it than it was to get the information.
Right.
So I had that with me so I could talk about how old I was when a song came out in 1966, i.e. 13.
Right.
And I was listening to the radio and I heard this song, or 69 when I was 16. So, for example, in Born to Be Wild, I said the next song, I heard it when I was 16 years old, and here's what happened. There was never a song ever before this one that used the term metal rock. This song was the first use of that term, and it hit number 2 on the charts.
Okay. Did not know that. So are you done with your story?
I don't know. I don't. Yeah. So we did. So then anyway, the guy does 45 minutes. We get back up. We do Grapevine, and we get people up dancing again. And our second set was livelier with more people dancing. By the time we ended, well over 350 people there. It was swelled. And then the DJ picked up, and for the next, we quit at 10 to 8. He didn't quit playing music till 9. So for the next hour, more people showed up. And it was a real hip-hoppy but groovy, good beat to it. Just good vibe all the way around. People were having a great time. Very, racially, ethnically mixed crowd. Free concert.
Is it not too loud? Because when I go to things like this, it's very rare now to find music that is at a volume that you can both dance to but also talk during.
Yes. So here's my read on that. If you playing in a room inside and it is a dinner room, then you have to adjust your volume for that. However, if you're playing outside,
right,
and it is actually a show,
sure,
rather than anything else,
correct,
of lubricated people in a dance floor, then the sound, the loudness has to drive it. Now, I say all that, but here's the thing. I don't hear what the people hear. I have plugs in my ears, and I have my app set.
Yes, but you've been on the other side. You've
sure,
been
I have,
audience.
But I actually can't. I don't know how loud it is there. The only time I know that is during a break. I take my shit off. I'm on a 45-minute break. I'm on the other side of that. Then I hear it and I say, wow, that's fucking loud. Right. And that's the interval music, the DJ's coming up, right?
Right, exactly.
Mel V. We're in the same volume if it's done the way it should be.
If it's done properly, yeah.
But notwithstanding whether it's too loud or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I have this theory that the guys that actually run the sound for events like this are half deaf.
Well, why wouldn't they be?
Right.
I mean, it's like you're convinced that the cook in a restaurant smokes. He must be a smoker. Why? Because everything is salty. A smoker loses his ability to taste salt, and
Really?
as a result of that, smokers oversalt their food, compared to other people because they burn out their fucking salt tasters.
That's news to me. I did not know that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
You see somebody putting a lot of salt on their food, you say, "Did you used to smoke?" They say, "Oh yeah, that was a pack a day." So what else did you destroy besides some of your taste buds? How's your breathing?
Hey, sodium. Hey. So I messaged you, I think, that I had been listening to an audiobook by David Sedaris, who is one of the best storytellers of our time. His stories, and I had actually read, like, when I was in Asheville visiting North Carolina, I read like the first 5 pages of this particular book, and he has crafted this way of telling stories just like over the years. Like I heard an interview with him recently where someone said, "How do you feel like your writing has changed?" And he said, "Boy, those first books, they could have been half as long." Like, there's that famous quote of, I think it's Rene Descartes, that's like, if I had more time, this letter would be half as long, or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Or whatever. But he's learned to craft his stories into the tiniest bits. But also, he's kind of like, he's a writer, but he's also kind of a stand-up comic, because he travels around reading his stories to the public.
And he's funny in between. Yeah.
And he's funny in between, but also he learns, before he's published a book, he learns what part of his stories get a laugh and which ones don't. Like, a good stand-up comic will iterate and iterate and iterate on their set, and notice when, that joke fell flat, or this joke killed. I didn't think it would, but it killed. So he goes around like honing his stories. And in this interview I heard with him, he talked about how first of all, he's never had a driver's license, and he takes pride in the fact that when he's being shipped around to do all of these book readings and book signings and whatnot, that when he gets picked up by a driver, he doesn't put on AirPods or anything. Like, he wants to talk to the driver, and he wants to get stories out of people. Yeah. And he's one of these people that in some way remind me of you, where you like to talk to people and just like tell me about who you are.
Yeah.
And and then he keeps a little diary where he writes down the interesting bits. But he the biggest life lesson that I took from this interview with him was enjoying the uncomfortable shit that life throws you when you know that it's going to make for a good story later. So one of his examples was,
right. That's what you wrote me. That's what you sent me, right?
Yeah. Yes. One of his stories was, I had a flight and it got delayed and then it got canceled, and it especially sucked because that's a boring story. No one wants to hear that story. But when you when something gets canceled and you end up having to, like, for example, when I went to Greece, and it turned out that I had booked the hotel room for the night after I arrived, and I had to spend I had to spend the entire night just alone with my suitcase in Athens with the cats. Like, I realized at the time, okay, this sucks, but it's also kind of awesome because it's going to make for a really good story.
Right.
And when you have, if you're able to address life that way, and to take the bumps in life as, oh shit, this is going to be a funny story.
Full. The glass is half full.
Right. So anyway, that was an observation that I appreciated. Like, I already sort of knew that, and I had that in my mind. And boy, does I've gotten in trouble sometimes when I have said to my wife, boy, this is going to make for a funny story later when we're in like a crisis situation. And she's like, shut the fuck up. Yeah, don't fucking talk to me about this. And I'm like, yeah, but in the future, this is going to be hilarious. So
it ain't hilarious now, cupcake.
Right, exactly. So I've definitely stepped on that landmine, but so it's better to keep this philosophy to yourself.
Yeah.
But I've also told my kids sometimes when they're going through shit. I'm like, yeah, but this is gonna be this, like, my daughter, who is about to leave the States to come back like tomorrow. She's flying back tomorrow. She had kind of a falling out with a friend over text where they were like,
just recently.
Yeah,
since
like this past
stayed?
week. Yeah, no. She's
you left her.
Yeah, she's been there for a year, and she's coming back tomorrow.
Oh boy.
And so she's having to say goodbye to all of her friends, and believe it or not, teenagers are not that great about emotions.
Yeah.
And some of them are just like rather than be honest and say, I'm really going to miss you, they're like, well, fuck you for leaving. Meh. Right? And so she had a text thread with one of her friends that was very much like that.
And it went bad.
And it went bad. And I told her, find a way to save this thread, like copy paste whatever you have to do to like save this, because this is going to be really entertaining to you to read in the future, even though it is really painful right now.
Yeah. Good advice good advice from her old pa.
Yeah. So speaking of her, one of her last say goodbye to America events was she went out driving with old Uncle Phil, who lets her drive like his BMW, like
Phil Shirley.
Yes. And he's taught her to, like, accelerate around the corners and like do crazy shit. And they went out this week driving, and his car broke down like while she was driving. And so she had the experience of being stranded out in the middle of nowhere
with Phil Shirley. Did he bring his guitar?
With Phil Shirley with a broken car and having to get back from that, which like, hey, weren't we? I have a memory of us being at a mechanic in Myrtle Beach with Phil. And
with a truck.
With a truck
that he fixed on the fly.
And
it was an alternator. It was an alternator. Yeah.
And he was just like, well, we just need to pull over here.
It's a great truck. It was one of those real broad. What the hell was that? Not a Wagoneer. Two Texas name. What the fuck is the name of that? Anyway, I'll remember it when I don't have to. But great old car, worth keeping.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a fun story.
So speaking of schmoozing after the show and the music, I don't drink when I play, so I got a beer and walked around before I packed anything. Took a breather, had most of my beer, then packed everything up, which took about half hour, and the place got fuller and fuller, and then I went and had another beer and found the owner of the bar right almost in front of us, called the Green Top, and his dude's name's Randy, and he is the bar owner who recommended us to play. And unless one of the bar owners along that alley, the restaurants and bars that are up on the alley, they all have a say in who plays, and if you don't get one of them to sponsor you, you're not in the running. So saw him, had a beer. I said, "Hey, dude, thanks for sponsoring us this year, man. My boys haven't eaten or drank anywhere else. It's all here, and I'm going to treat your staff well." And he gave me a double fist, and he said, "Yeah, I heard you." He said, "You guys are really good." He said, "We'll bring you back next year." And nice. I said, "That's cool, And he got distracted. It got crazier and crazier. With just the hip-hop-y kind of DJ stuff going on. It got crowded and crowded, and the vibe was different than when the full band was playing, obviously. And then on the way out, it's now 9 o'clock, 5 to 9, having my final beer. I talked to a couple people. I had these placards that I made, these tents that I made that got our Venmo code on them and our Facebook code on them and one of our logos, so it's a tabletop folder that can stand up to wind, etc. I had to collect them, and I talked to people all over. Did you hear the band? Yeah. Did you like the band? Yeah, they were really great. And I was changed, so they didn't necessarily, unless I had my big white Panama hat on, they probably won't recognize me.
Right.
If I'm wearing a cap like I have on. Sure. At any rate, so I would tell them, yeah, I'm in that band. Did you like, after they say they liked it, I say, "Oh, great." They're like, "Well, were you in the band?" I say, "Yeah, I was in the band." And great sentiment all the way around, but on the way out, I run into the woman who organized it. Kim Guess is her name, and she's just a wonderful person. And I said, "So what'd you think? This was so much fun for us, And she said, "You guys were great. You were great." She said, "I want you here next year. Everybody loved it. You're just great." So we played for, 45 minutes and then 40 minutes. That's it. And we got paid 85 twice as minutes. Much as we've gotten paid anywhere we played.
Sweet.
And we're coming back. And nice. It's such a party, man. 300 plus people, 350 even, in the back alley with lights over everything now because it's all closed off. All these decks with their own lighting, a painted pavement. The old alley is all painted in rainbow colors, and the big part in front of the stage is all danced.
How does... I have a question. How does a venue decide what to pay you? Because, you're not playing a thing where you're selling tickets for people to get in.
Right.
You're playing a place where...
How do they decide?
Where you are going to attract people that night to come and spend their money at the venue. And if you had only gotten 50 people, would you have gotten paid less? Is it based on attendance? It
all depends on your contract. So one place we have a contract where we have what we call a base pay, and that assumes that there's at least
you just pay the bassist?
30 people they're drinking. and whether there is or not, that's a base pay. We're going to get that, and then for every additional $1,500 of bar tab, we get a bonus, and then another one if another $1,500. So that's one way to build your payment. Another way, another way is to say, look, we usually get X amount of gig, but for you we'll do 3 for a third, a third, and a third. So and it's like, because we booked there 3 times, and that's always easiest for us. We like the place,
Right.
we like the stage, we like the venue, and we book in a lot of places where it's not up to us to bring the people in. We're traveling, 20 minutes to a different town, and they have a regular Friday, Saturday night crowd. They're near golf outings. There's party space in the back where you can rent it. There's 20 people there every night of the week, and then on weekends there's a dinner party when we're setting up, and sometimes we play till midnight. There's an outdoor venue. We just show up there. Other places where the contract is like I said, then we say to all of our peeps, come, this is an important one for us. So we got 60 people in there the other night. We made well over $200 in tips, and ended up with double bonus. So this another place we're playing, Presidential Brewery, which is an outdoor venue that's coming up September 12th. Took me a long time to get booked there. It's a great outdoor stage. They're like, we're charging $5 cover. You get all of that. We're making our money with food and with drink. Huh. So, the more people that come, the more money you'll make. And you get 20% off food and like a free drink. And it's right. Like, you cheap son of a bitch. We usually get even $150 bar tab. 20% off food. Thanks. So you're still making 30% profit off us, you dick. But anyway, we're happy to get the gig, and we'll see what it produces. But that's a one where we're going to say to all our peeps, spread the word. And I've got an organization that I'm supporting called Sounds of the Zoo, which does a big festival the end of September. They're going to sponsor this, and that'll get the email blasts out to attract more people. So it all depends on the venue. But this one, though, is odd because it's done by committee. It's done by budget. So they say, we've got 13 Wednesdays that we're going to play, and our budget for bands is $13,000. Why? We want to get the best bands we can. We're going to ask them to play for up to 3 hours, blah, blah, blah. We don't want to be dicking around with bands. We want them just to say yes when we pick them. And so that's it. So the fact, we're very thrilled with the event.
I'm also confused with, at least here in Spain, where people are, I was just at a town festival where people are walking around, and in the town square there was a big stage set up and there was a band playing, and it seems to me that the incentives for cranking the volume louder to
bring the people in,
people from further away that hear, oh, there's music happening over there, and then they come, and that is better somehow for all of the vendors and the venue and the performers.
The venue is probably in the town center where the shops are numerous.
Right.
So as you get closer to the center of town, generally you've got more places. So everybody's set to make money. These bars and restaurants along this alley, they are crammed with people for 4 hours. There is nonstop business.
And they wouldn't be without the music.
No way. It's an event. It's a community event.
Okay.
Big advertising budget. The whole 9 yards, and a professional sound men. Set up stage. The DJ was great. Mel V.
Yes, I've already written him
You
down.
know, so we had
notes.
our moments. It was kind of funny. There's one tune that we play that it's got a harmonica in it, Roadhouse Blues, and it's actually got two harmonica parts to it. And John Sebastian from Love and Spoonful played the harp for the Doors for this recording in this live version that you hear mostly. And in the harp, it's a key of E, so I'm on an A harp, a cross harp, and the only part of the harp that is in tune with the song is the lowest third register. And so there's maybe 4 or 5 holes that I can blow. If I go higher than that, it becomes out of tune. And it's
Boy, that harp math is
due to the structure of the harmony, I don't have to understand it to hear it.
Sure.
And so when it's bad, it's bad. It sounds like you've changed harps. Now, actually, I could change harp and find it, but you're in the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and so I just do background. And so because our lead guitarist, the singer, said, you know, we're going to stretch this stuff out, you know, any minute that you're playing, I'm not singing, so that makes me happy. So he threw me for the first time ever live a solo on the harp, which was so
you had your limited, 5 holes. Boom,
because
boom,
I could
boom,
only,
boom, boom,
and
boom.
I can do stuff with it, but thank God I was rescued by the bass player, who was playing a hell of a bass riff with me, and actually for the first time ever put his back up against me as I had my back to him because he's behind me.
Sure.
And back to back, we played this riff, and it just gave me the quirkiest kind of staccato that I could do something different, you know, and make even this limited note sound interesting, but mostly interesting because of him.
Right.
You know, not in and of itself. So we had these kind of moments like that, and so imagine how cool it'll be next year when our 5th player is there, and we're so much better with him. So much better. The interplay between the guitars, the background vocals that he sings, plus he's an excellent lead singer.
You're 25% better.
Good. Oh, yeah. He's got a good 6-8 tunes that he does every time we play. So that's all fun. And one more story, then I'm done.
Okay. I have another topic, but we can push it to next week.
Federal Housing Administration.
Ooh, do tell.
Came in after the paid
FHA
inspection, and the inspection was 31 pages. I ranted about it. I also fixed the shit that they said, including getting one window in every bedroom to open, in anticipation of the assessment, the fiscal fiduciary assessment by the Federal Housing Administration, which I was told would take 25 minutes. And so the man came in, and as expected, in every room, every bedroom, he tried to open the windows, and one window opened in every bedroom, and he said, that's safe. I fixed the joist. I did this. I did that. I did 2 days worth of work.
Why does a bedroom window need to open?
Escape, case of fire.
Okay. A window open is one thing. A window open such that humans can pass through is a different level.
I don't. You must assume a window is big enough for a human to get through. It's not a fucking ship. It's not like
but I mean
a naval window.
Yeah. Also, American humans are bigger now than they used to be, but I was thinking it was more for ventilation.
No, because it's we seal them because it's air conditioned and heated. We don't.
Right.
And Kalamazoo doesn't have the best fucking air in the fucking world.
So it's a window that one could crawl through potentially.
Yeah. So anyway, I did these repairs in great hopes. FHA guy comes in. I'm there. I'm afraid that the garage door won't close again because it's been faulty. And I'm working in the garage, and I'm wanting to see if somehow I can manipulate him to take care of the garage and me close the garage door. Sure enough, he walks through the house. I said, I'll be out of here in a minute.
And you lock him in there. You close it down and he's stuck in there.
Door, because you'll have to lock this door when you're done, taking pictures of the garage. He said, well, let me just do it now. He took 2 or 3 pictures. He said, okay, make sure the lock works. And I showed him. And then he walked away. And when I went to shut the garage door, it stuck. And I pulled it down. And I thought, yeah, baby. He was out of there in 25 minutes. He wrote full approval for the loan asked. Full approval with no additional repairs. Bam.
Yeah, baby.
We're closing September 4th. Money on the barrelhead.
Nice.
We got 2 weeks to empty the house.
I once sold a car in England that I had bought used and was kind of shitty, and when you pressed on the brakes, it would like go like it was bad. And I had put up an ad online and had people come over to the house and like test drive it, and it fucking happened while they were test driving it.
Yeah.
And they still fucking bought it.
Oh yeah, well, it all depends.
It depends on, like, with sales, it's like which side is more desperate.
Yeah.
It all comes down to that.
Yeah.
Which side can be like, I don't care if we do this deal, whatever.
It's like the dude who shows up at my house with a driver and a car so she can go home after he buys my car. He's got cash, $4,000, $6,000 cash in his pocket. He can't fit in the car because not only is he 6'2", but he also has a bum leg. He can't bend the knee. And somehow he thought he was going to get into my fucking 2500 SL Mercedes-Benz convertible with a bad fucking leg, 6'2", and it's like, dude, the seat doesn't go back anymore. You're almost in the trunk.
Yeah.
I can't fit. He gets in his car, he leaves. 5 minutes later, he's gone. What part of this? You really drove all the way here from Detroit, and you didn't know you couldn't fit? What? Okay, come back. I'll take the seat out. I'll modify the trunk. You can sit on the back bumper.
When I think back to all the like grown-up deals that I did with like houses and cars and shit.
Yeah.
When I was 25, it's just like, or 24 or 23, like just.
Yeah,
that's too young. That's too young to be doing that shit.
I bought my first house when I was 24. I had a 1-year-old child.
Yeah,
the same as your parents. I mean, we're contemporaries. Your parents and I, of course. Although
I bought this house. I bought the house where I live now at age 26. I know that because my address is 26 on the street, and I remembered. But that was after buying and living in and selling a house in another country.
In Denmark?
In England.
Hey, so I got news. I don't want to forget. Johnny Bergen, guitar player who we did talk about. He is touring Denmark and Europe. You knew that, and Japan, where he's a big hit. Yes. He has moved to Denmark, married a Danish woman, and has now got his blues bass worldwide tour in Denmark. So, when we come to Spain,
they love blues and jazz in Denmark.
We got to get hooked up with Johnny,
all right,
and do some type of European tour, man. And here's the thing for you. Listen up now. You got to learn how to play the bass guitar.
Oh, shit. Okay.
You can do that. It's only 4 strings, dude. It's only 4 strings.
Yeah. It must be easier.
It is easier. And you got talent. You got talented fingers. Now, Johnny Bergen going to be lead guitarist, you know. So,
yeah.
Need a bass player. Bass.
I can do some bum 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 bum. So just walking around on the blues scale.
Just like everything. The more you practice, the better you get. I mean, you know what the song list is ahead of time. You just listen to the songs and play it.
I played my guitar today for 40 minutes, and that's 40 minutes more than I've played in the last long time. Like my
undisciplined.
When I touch my trackpad, because I have to use my trackpad with my left hand because my right hand is RSI constrained. Like it feels weird now because I've already within hours.
What constraint? It's what?
RSI.
Your arm is
repetitive strain injury. I used to use my mouse with my right hand, my trackpad, but a couple years ago I had a time where my whole
I remember
for sure we talked about this. My whole right arm was shit, and it was very tragic to my identity of if I can't use a computer, what would I ever do?
Yeah.
Which
what kind
is
of
hilarious.
A man am I?
Which is hilarious. Yeah, fuck you and your tools. But also hilarious now that much of what I can do I can do with my voice, because now most of what I do is reading commands. Code and talking to bots that write the code, which is how it is. But anyway, well,
I'm glad we could pull this off tonight, man. It was.
I was sad.
I had no idea, you know. My schedule just clicked, as they say. I asked my baby, please tell me, baby.
What'd you say?
Oh, I gotta know.
What?
Are you doing me wrong?
Well,
it's driving me crazy. Oh, so crazy. But somebody told me you've been running around. She reached her hands from across the table.
I love this song.
And whispered low these words to me. Oh, honey, I love you. Oh, I love you. And that's the way it's gonna be. She put her hands across the table, and my hands across the table, and said, honey, I love you. Oh, don't you worry no more. Oh, don't you worry no more. Oh, she wiped a tear from my eye, and she said, baby, oh, we better go. Somebody's lying. Oh, somebody's lying. But don't you worry anymore. Well, I took her hand and we walked together, hand in hand, and soul to soul. I told everybody, everybody, she's my baby, and I love her so. She put her hands across the table, and my hands across the table, and said, honey, I love you. Don't you worry no more. No more, baby. Don't worry no more. Don't you worry. Don't worry no more. I said, honey, don't worry no more.
No mo.
She put her hands across the table and whispered low these words to me. Oh, honey, I love you. Oh, yeah, I love you. And that's the way it's gonna be. She put her hands across the table.
Yeah.
And my hands across the table. And said, honey, I love you. Don't you worry no more. Oh, no more.
Okay, that's it for episode 286. You can find the show notes at happyhour.fm/286, which include a link to that YouTube video about the Eclipse and a link to the DJ that was playing at Dennis's party, and even a link to side belt crap on Amazon if you want to check that out. Support the show Patreon. See you next week.